Okay, so this is just a quick little note on what to do with your song ideas when you get them. So first one, lyrics. When I get lyrical ideas, I've got to make sure I write them down, otherwise I forget them. The same actually goes for melodies as well. But write them down. I use Microsoft Word if I'm at work, just write things down, save it in a document, upload it to my Google Drive. I've then got it at home. The other place that I write my ideas down is just on the notes on my phone. Open it up, write it down, and leave it as that. Second, melody ideas. Same with that, record it, write it down. I get a voice memo on my phone, I record it, I then call it song idea, verse, chorus. So when I go back to it, I know roughly what it is. And then the other thing with that is when you've made a little recording, go back to it when you get home, pad it out, re-record it, so you've got the full body of what it is, rather than just a rough idea which you may lose 6 months down the line. So there you go, there's some tips for remembering your lyrics and your melody ideas.
So one of the things I found really useful is morning pages. So the idea of morning pages is to get up early and before you talk to anyone, get a shower, maybe go to somewhere where you connect with. So that could be a garden, it could be Licky Hills, it could be a park bench, and just write 3 pages, just whatever comes to mind. So it could be interpreted as morning, as in good morning pages, or morning as in grieving, morning sadness. It's nothing particular, it's just writing 3 pages. I've got a songwriting book and mine's A5, so I think 3 pages of A5 is about correct. It's about the same as maybe 1.5 A4. So I aim mine at God. I aim it as like a conversation, so to me it has more meaning. So the first 2 I write as if I'm talking to God, and the third one is more of a response. It's helped a lot during the coronavirus kind of lockdown stuff. I have no idea how I would implement it into everyday working life, but whilst I've had more time off, it's been really useful. It's something that I'd like to put into everyday working life whenever that coronavirus thing stops and life turns back to normal.
Ideas. When you're trying to be creative, they can often seem like the most elusive and difficult thing to find. We all remember that feeling from school where we're sat there with a blank piece of paper and a pen and we're thinking, what do I do? Where do I start? And then there's other times where we're suddenly struck out of nowhere almost with an idea and we think, oh, that's a good lyric, or that could be a really nice melody or guitar part. And then we carry on. Maybe we're in the supermarket, maybe we're driving, we finish off our shower and we've forgotten it. We can't remember what we've just come up with. In this video, I want to suggest some ways that we can ensure that we don't lose those ideas. We don't miss those moments of inspiration when they come. So preserving and recording are a real key part of the songwriting process. If we're going to be effective as songwriters, we're going to need to get used to capturing our ideas as soon as possible, as soon as we've had them, before we forget. So, firstly, have a way of noting down your lyrics and your ideas. I've got a notebook. I've got loads of these notebooks all around the house. They're in my bags, they're on my desk. I've got notes on my phone. I've got this app that allows me to keep track of different ideas and different notes that come to me. Too many times have I thought of an idea or thought of a lyric and I've not written it down, and an hour later or maybe 15 minutes later I've got my guitar out, I'm ready to go. Can't remember it. Forgotten it. Now, actually, the reality is the vast majority of what is in here could be gibberish and not usable. But the 5 to 10% of this that is good is invaluable. I'm increasingly finding that if I have an idea, I write it down, and then weeks, months later, I'm writing another song, I'm struggling for a bridge, I'm struggling for a chorus, I'm struggling for a theme, I've got a melody, but I need some lyrics. I can look back through here and I can find something that I can use. It's particularly useful in collaborative songwriting to be able to bring along a book of ideas. Similar is the use of the phone, in particular the voice memo. Get used to singing into your phone. Have it handy. We've almost always got it with us. Now, this might be oversharing, but I'm a sucker for singing in the shower. Maybe it's the natural reverb of the tiles, but I often find it a good place to come up with melodies. I'm trying to capture these moments as much as possible, and I try and have my phone just in reach so I can record that stuff. I'm lucky I've got a waterproof phone, but be aware that melodies, when they come, can be tricky things to remember. And you'll often start to improvise when you repeat them. So I'd really recommend when you come up with a melody, you record it as soon as possible. As soon as you have that thought, oh, this might be an idea, you record it. You might get inspired through times of worship. Plenty of contemporary worship songs have started off as seed ideas, as these kind of like basic, like 1 or 2 lines, maybe from a spontaneous moment in worship. And even if you're in the congregation and you're singing out, sometimes you can strike upon an idea. I know songwriters who have sung something out in spontaneous worship from the congregation and thought, that's pretty good. And they've got their phones out and they've recorded themselves before returning back to worshipping as before. I'll talk more about inspiration in future videos, but please remember that God can speak to you at any time, and He can speak through pretty much anything. I mean, I once wrote a sermon off the back of watching the family film Kung Fu Panda 2, and I wasn't really looking to be inspired at that moment, but God used it. More typically though, it might be in your quiet times, reading the Bible, praying. Keep that notebook handy, keep that phone ready to voice record. If you're the journaling type, you might find that the prayers and thoughts that you record in your journal might also form part of your lyric writing. We've got a God who speaks to us today. So let's be proactive in searching out those ideas that can form the basis of our future worship songs.